So Keyshawn Davis just came out and insinuated that the man is thinking about retirement and the man believes that he's retiring. But let me actually tell you this. A few weeks ago when I was in the States, I met Keyshawn Davis. And let me tell you my experience and thoughts about this man. So, just a couple of weeks before he was supposed to fight Edwin de los Santos, and before he blew away, some might say, his career, we were both in New York. So I was at the Times Square event and I literally met everyone. On fight day, the morning of fight day, I literally met everyone. I met Devin Haney, Bill Haney, Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero, Virgil Ortiz, Oscar De La Hoya, Eddie Hearn, Hamza Shiraz, Edgar Berlanga. Everyone you can think of was there. Everyone you can think of was there. And you know who was also there? Keyshawn Davis and his brothers. Now let me tell you this. To every fighter who I love and respect and admire, I went up to them, shook their hand, talked to them for a couple of minutes, and everyone, without a single exception, they were all absolute gentlemen and they were all extremely kind and welcoming and warm. But one man I did not go up to. There's only one man out of all the people who I saw who was actually next to me and I didn't think about talking to him. And it was Keyshawn Davis. And let me tell you why. So, just after the Teofimo fight, immediately after the Teofimo fight and before the Devin Haney fight, there was a bit of a break in between fights. So I saw His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh on my right. He was, I believe, talking to Mike Tyson. And they were having like a nice, mellow conversation. And I believe Eddie Hearn and Edgar Berlanga were close. So I was just for a second, just watching the scenes. Those people that I've been watching since I was a kid on TV and on the internet are literally just sitting in front of me having a chat. So I was kind of starstruck by seeing Mike Tyson and His Excellency and Eddie Hearn and all these people. I mean, all true gentlemen. But then, out of nowhere, I hear someone screaming at the top of their lungs and just running like an absolute madman in the middle of Times Square, right next to the barricade and the street of Times Square. And I look and it was Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis was losing his mind that night. The man was so loud, the man was so obnoxious, the man was acting like a complete idiot. I hate to say it, I'm sorry. But I just looked at him, I was like, what in the world? I mean, with this event, with all these legends in front of me, you're talking about billionaires, you're talking about icons, you're talking about everything you can think of. And they were all just chill, relaxed, humble, respectful. Except this guy who just barely came onto the scene. The man was making so much noise, and I believe his brother was like having a verbal altercation with someone. They were shouting at someone, and they were running all around, and they were saying DB3, and they were shouting and screaming. And I don't even believe that any fan came up to them. Like, I was watching from afar, they were running, especially Keyshawn. I believe he had one of his brothers and a friend, or I'm not too sure. But that was my impression and reaction when I saw Keyshawn Davis for the first time in my life. That day, I literally met everyone. And actually, few minutes before I saw Keyshawn, I was with William Zepeda and his coach, believe it or not. I went to get something to drink. And who did I see? I saw Coach Panda and William Zepeda. I mean, William Zepeda was so humble, and his coach. And I actually made a video. My prediction was Zepeda was going to beat Shakur Stevenson. And when I told Coach Panda, I was like, I believe that Zepeda will run through Shakur. Coach Panda was like, I don't know about that. I was like, what? You know, like, even Coach Panda knew what type of trouble they were in. But I found out later. And much respect to the great Shakur Stevenson. The man was so calm, was so humble, was so chill in real life. I had all the respect in the world I had for him, it doubled. And to everyone, even Edgar Berlanga. Even Edgar Berlanga, the man who's disgracing his Puerto Rican people now by making all the excuses and lies, and the man was so humble and respectful. The man was so low-key, even though he had 100 people with him, and with all the jewelry. I mean, the man looked like a superstar. The man looked like a celebrity, and much respect to him. You know, that was before all the excuses and insanity that he's been coming out with. But all these people, they were so humble, except Keyshawn Davis. He was so loud, obnoxious, disrespectful to everyone around him. And even when he came to sit, actually for a bit, he came to sit next to Mike Tyson. He was shouting and screaming and jumping up and down. And when I say jumping, I mean jumping literally. Like the man couldn't sit for more than 5 minutes. It was like the man was on coke or something, you know. And I don't believe that's the case, but that was what Keyshawn Davis. And what do you know? What do you know? Couple of weeks later, a day before his fight, he missed weight, gave the middle finger to his people, to his crowd, to his hometown in Virginia, ruined the event. More than 6,000 tickets were refunded, disrespected the entire his hometown, disrespected Top Rank, got removed from the card, and now look, he's talking about retirement. I swear to you, the moment that I saw him that day, I was like, this guy, you know, he got his first paycheck, his first big paycheck, and the man is losing his mind. He won his first big fight versus an absolute nobody in Deres Branchik. Deres Branchik is the sorriest, worst champion I have ever seen in the sport in my life. I mean, just look at the man. I mean, I don't have to say much. If you know boxing, the man is an absolute, you know, I hate to disrespect anyone, but the man, he is the worst champion I have ever seen in my life. Keyshawn, you just beat this man and you think that you're bigger than everyone and anyone. And I actually remember this scene. Keyshawn was running around the ring and there were fans at the corner. They were all like, I believe they were his fans, or like they were fans of him and his like brothers. And I remember when he started running around the ring, like I believe like a group of African Americans, you know, I believe, you know, that's his, you know, that's most of his fans, I believe, you know, people who relate to him, people who, and much respect to him. I believe they were all like wanted to take pictures with him, and he didn't even shake their hand, you know. Like that was my first time seeing Keyshawn Davis. Seeing this absolute madman losing his mind in front of all these billionaires and champions and icons and legends. I was like, you know, this guy, you know, what in the world am I seeing? So I didn't have any negative thing that I saw from anyone except this man, you know. This man was losing his mind. Now, yes, he's young. I believe he's 26 years old. He's going to learn from this. He's going to grow from this. And he's going to become a better human and, God willing, a better champion. God willing, he will become a multiple division champion and he's going to make all the money in the world and he's going to make his family proud and he's going to learn his lesson. But on that day, when I saw him, I was like, man, who even will go up to this guy to shake his hand or tell him, hey, congratulations on becoming a champion? You know, like, so that was my experience meeting Keyshawn Davis. And when he missed weight and he ruined the event in his hometown a couple of weeks later, I was not surprised. I swear to you, I was not surprised. Because when I saw him that night in Times Square, I knew, you know, it is not easy to make a lot of money and to be very famous at a young age. And the man is not even famous. The man is only known by hardcore fans, boxing fans. The man isn't even known by combat sports fans. So if you actually think about it, look at Gervonta Davis. He made so much money, became so famous at an early age, and the way that he handles himself in the public eye, you gotta respect it. The man just stays out of the way and just does what he needs to do. But this guy made his first couple of $100,000 and he lost his mind. Like it was actually a very interesting thing to see live. So, but that being said, like I said, I hope and I'm sure that the man, he's not going to retire. He said that he's retiring. I don't believe that. I believe that he's going to come back better than ever, more humble, more gracious, smarter, and God willing, he will become a champion and make his family proud and rule the boxing world for years to come, God willing.